This was shortly after the world reveal of Black Ops 3, but before the beta was released. That's just to give you a estimate of when this all went down. I was playing on my Xbox 360, like every day, with my friends. We had a party full. All 8 available party members were close friends. Only 5 of them had connections with me in the real world. We were playing Black Ops 2 together. It was our favorite game because it wasn't as futuristic as the rest of them. It felt like war. As time flew by, some of my friends began to leave. I could understand. It was about 12:45 a.m. when the first one left. I like to think of myself as hardcore. I could stay up for days if I wanted to. I was never bothered with the time, and I knew I'd be the last one in the party because I was so awake. At about 1 a.m., we got down to 6 party members. My friend, whom will remain nameless, brought up the idea to do a 6-man search and destroy. It was perfect. We played until about 3 a.m., then we lost 2 people. They let the powers of sleep take them over. After we had said our goodbyes for the night, and they had left, we joined another game of SND. That was a mistake. We had joined into a lobby with a man whose gamertag was empty. There was nothing there. It was just blank. My friend, whose gamertag was Twisted Tulip 10, suggested we leave the game because he was just a young J-tagger who had ruined the game for all of us. But the party leader didn't have it. He was asking for mods over and over until the nameless player plugged in his mic. He said with a heavy Spanish accent,
"You want mods? Well, I have a private match mod we can play. It's called Dueldo de Inferno."
My friend was very quick to say yes, and sure enough, the man backed out and invited us all. All 4 of us joined, and the lobby looked quite modded. No map, no option to create a class, or choose score streaks. It was just a blank lobby with a spinning globe in the background. The man told us that we didn't want to die in this game, because we wouldn't enjoy the result. I assumed that he meant that we would have our stats reset, or something beyond that nature. My friend asked what would happen if we lost. The man's voice got deeper, almost as if he was using a voice changer to deepen his voice. He shouted,
"Usted por su verda."
He kept screaming the same line over and over again, getting more violent as the timer decreased from 10. My friends and I got worried, at least I did. The man kept yelling the phrase over and over. I tried to mute him, but I could still hear it. I assumed this was just one of his mods, but it was almost unbearable. Finally, the game started. I couldn't hear him anymore. The shouting had stopped. I could just hear my friends. The game started with a horrifying map. It was what looked like a city street, full of lifeless bodies, and one woman who stood out from the rest was holding her intestines in her hands. Her eyes were gouged out, teeth were pulled. Every single man and woman's dead body looked like as if they were torture victims. That's when I saw a gamer tag in the distance. Crazy Maisie 2332, hovering above his clueless character. He was facing the other way, aimlessly strolling through the gory map. My friends and I started talking about what we thought this was. I pressed back but noticed the host was gone. This made no sense. There was no host. I decided we needed to get this over with, and I shot Crazy Maisie 2332 in the back, and his character fell to the ground. What I heard haunts me to this day. Crazy screamed as if he was being killed. I felt an uneasy feeling. I told him to stop, as well did my friends, but he didn't. or couldn't. The horrifying screeching continued for about 3 minutes, then ended with a disgusting wheezing sound. His player disconnected from the game and the party, so I found somewhere in the distressed pile of bodies I was near and checked my friends list. He was gone. It's almost like he never existed. My friends began yelling about how terrible this was, and even if Crazy was playing a joke on us, we had had enough. But no one knew what would happen if we left. If something truly terrible had happened to Crazy, then what would happen to us? I said we can wait this out. I told them that when the timer ends, we'll be okay. The game will end, we'll be fine. It seemed like a good idea, Juke, until Page A. Juke said, "The man said we don't want to lose, right? If we wait this out, everyone will lose but you. We will all lose. You have a kill. We don't." This brought chaos to all of us. We began fighting about it. Guys, Page A said, "press the start button. It displays the map name. That is Spanish, and it translates to Game of Hell." When I heard these words, I froze. We began fighting more. The argument got even more heated. Then Page A started screaming, louder than Crazy did, and longer. I muted him, so I didn't have to hear his pain. But even when he was muted, I could still hear it. I unplugged my headset, but I could still hear the screaming and the pain he was in. I was done with it. I dropped my controller and unplugged my Xbox, but still, I could hear the awful screeching of my close friend. There was only 2 of us left, and I heard my last buddy say, "I'm sorry, I had to." I picked up my controller and tried to forget about my feelings towards my last friend. He saw me, and I saw him. He started shooting at me and crying as he apologized for what he was doing, but he got cut off. The shooting stopped. He stopped. His controller had died, I thought. I turned around and started shooting him, knowing that it would kill him. I heard screams of pain. He was dying because of me. If my hypothesis is correct, I had killed 3 people. Who am I? I don't even know who I am anymore. What kind of person doesn't know who they are? The screaming stopped. I started to cry. Then the game ended, when I saw the blank, empty lobby. But then the man was still there, waiting for the game to end. He said,
"Wasn't that fun, Timothy? See you in hell."
"I'm Timothy. That's my name."